Saul plans to kill David. Saul told his son Jonathan and all his servants to kill David. But Jonathan cared very much for David. So he warned David, "My father Saul is looking for a chance to kill you. Watch out in the morning. Hide in a secret place. I will go out and stand with my father in the field where you are hiding. I'll talk to him about you. Then I'll let you know what I find out." Jonathan talked to Saul his father. He said good things about David. Jonathan said, "You are the king. Don't do wrong to your servant David. He did nothing wrong to you. What he did has helped you greatly. David risked his life when he killed Goliath the Philistine. The Lord won a great victory for all Israel. You saw it, and you were happy. Why would you do wrong against David? He's innocent. There's no reason to kill him." Saul listened to Jonathan. Then he made this promise, "As surely as the Lord lives, David won't be put to death." So Jonathan called to David. He told David everything that had been said. And he brought David to Saul. So David was with Saul as before. When war broke out again, David went out to fight the Philistines. He defeated them, and they ran away from him. But once again an evil spirit from the Lord entered Saul. He was sitting in his house, and he had his spear in his hand. David was playing the harp. Saul tried to pin David to the wall with his spear. But David moved away from him. So Saul's spear went into the wall. And David ran away that night. Saul sent men to David's house. They watched it, wanting to kill him in the morning. But Michal, David's wife, warned him. She said, "Tonight you must run away to save your own life. If you don't, you will be killed tomorrow morning." Then she let David down out of a window. So he ran away and escaped. Then Michal took an idol and laid it on the bed. She covered it with clothes and put goat's hair at its head. Saul sent messengers to take David prisoner. But Michal said, "He is sick." The men went and told Saul, but he sent them back to see David. He told them, "Bring him to me on his bed so I can kill him." But when the messengers entered David's house, they found it was just an idol on the bed. Its hair was goat's hair. Saul said to Michal, "Why did you trick me this way? You let my enemy go. He has run away." Michal answered Saul, "David told me if I did not help him escape, he would kill me." After David had escaped from Saul, he went to Samuel at Ramah. He told Samuel everything Saul had done to him. Then David and Samuel went to Naioth and stayed there. Saul heard that David was in Naioth at Ramah. So he sent men to capture him. But they met a group of prophets prophesying. Samuel was leading this group and was standing there. The Spirit of God entered Saul's men, and they also prophesied. Saul heard the news. So he sent other men, but they also prophesied. Then he sent men a third time, but they also prophesied. Finally, Saul himself went to Ramah. He came to the well at Secu. He asked, "Where are Samuel and David?" The people answered, "In Naioth at Ramah." Then Saul went to Naioth at Ramah. But the Spirit of God also entered him. And he walked on, prophesying until he came to Naioth at Ramah. He took off his robes and prophesied in front of Samuel. He lay that way all day and all night. That is why people ask, "Is even Saul one of the prophets?" David and Jonathan. Then David ran away from Naioth in Ramah. He went to Jonathan and asked, "What have I done? What is my crime? How have I sinned against your father so that he's trying to kill me?" Jonathan answered, "No. You won't die. See, my father doesn't do anything without first telling me. It doesn't matter if it is very important or just a small thing. Why would he refuse to tell me he wants to kill you? No, it's not true." But David took an oath. He said, "Your father knows very well that I'm your friend. He has said to himself, 'Jonathan must not know about it. If he knows, he will tell David.' But as surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I am very close to death." Jonathan said to David, "I'll do anything you want me to do." So David said, "Look, tomorrow is the new moon festival. I am supposed to eat with the king. But let me hide in the field until the third evening. Your father may notice I am gone. If he does, tell him, David begged me to let him go to his hometown of Bethlehem." Every year at this time, his family group offers a sacrifice. If your father says, fine, I am safe. But if he becomes angry, you can believe he wants to hurt me. Jonathan, be kind to me, your servant. You have made an agreement with me before the Lord. If I am guilty, you may kill me yourself. Why hand me over to your father? Jonathan answered, No, never. If I learn that my father plans to harm you, I will warn you. David asked, Who will let me know if your father answers you unkindly? Then Jonathan said, Come, let's go out into the field. So Jonathan and David went together into the field. Jonathan said to David, I promise this before the Lord, the God of Israel, at this same time day after tomorrow, I will find out how my father feels. If he feels good toward you, I'll send word to you. I'll let you know. But my father may mean to hurt you. If so, I will let you know and send you away safely. May the Lord punish me terribly if I don't do this. And may the Lord be with you as he has been with my father. But show me the kindness of the Lord as long as I live. Do this so that I may not die. You must not stop showing your kindness to my family. Don't do this, even when the Lord has destroyed all your enemies from the earth. So Jonathan made an agreement with David. He said, May the Lord punish David's enemies. And Jonathan asked David to repeat his promise of love for him. He did this because he loved David as much as he loved himself. Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon festival. Your seat will be empty. So my father will notice you're gone. On the third day go to the place where you hid when this trouble began. Wait by the rock Ezel. On the third day I will shoot 3 arrows to the side of the rock. I will shoot as if I am shooting at a target. Then I will send a boy and tell him to go find the arrows. I may say to him, Look, the arrows are on this side of you. Bring them here. If so, you may come out of hiding. You may do this as surely as the Lord lives because you are safe. There is no danger. But I may say to the boy, Look, the arrows are beyond you. If I do, you must go, because the Lord has sent you away. Remember what we talked about. The Lord is a witness between you and me forever. So David hid in the field. And when the new moon festival came, the king sat down to eat. He sat where he always sat, near the wall. Jonathan sat across from him, and Abner sat next to him. But David's place was empty. That day Saul said nothing. He thought, maybe something has happened to David so that he is unclean. But the next day was the second day of the month. And David's place was empty again. So Saul said to Jonathan, Why hasn't the son of Jesse come to the festival yesterday or today? Jonathan answered, David begged me to let him go to Bethlehem. He said, Let me go, because our family has a sacrifice in the town. And my brother has ordered me to be there. Now if I am your friend, please let me go and see my brothers. That is why he has not come to the king's table. Then Saul became very angry with Jonathan. He said, You son of an evil and disobedient woman. I know you are on the side of David son of Jesse. You bring shame on yourself and on your mother who gave birth to you. As long as Jesse's son lives, you'll never be king or have a kingdom. Now send for David and bring him to me. He must die. Jonathan asked his father, Why should David be killed? What wrong has he done? Then Saul threw his spear at Jonathan, trying to kill him. So Jonathan knew that his father really wanted to kill David. Jonathan was very angry and left the table. That second day of the month he refused to eat. He was upset about what his father wanted to do to David. The next morning Jonathan went out to the field. He went to meet David as they had agreed. He had a young boy with him. Jonathan said to the boy, Run and find the arrows I shoot. When he ran, Jonathan shot an arrow beyond him. The boy ran to the place where Jonathan's arrow fell. But Jonathan called, The arrow is beyond you. Then he shouted, Hurry. Go quickly. Don't stop. The boy picked up the arrow and brought it back to his master. The boy knew nothing about what this meant. Only Jonathan and David knew. Then Jonathan gave his weapons to the boy. He told him, Go back to town. When the boy left, David came out from the south side of the rock. He bowed face down on the ground before Jonathan. He did this 3 times. Then David and Jonathan kissed each other. They cried together, but David cried the most. Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace. We have promised by the Lord that we will be friends. We said, the Lord will be a witness between you and me, and between our descendants forever." Then David left, and Jonathan went back to town. David goes to see Ahimelech. David went to Nob to see Ahimelech the priest. Ahimelech shook with fear when he saw David. He asked David, "Why are you alone? Why is no one with you?" David answered him, "The king gave me a special order. He told me, no one must know about the work I am sending you to do. And no one must know what I told you to do. I told my men where to meet me. Now, what food do you have with you? Give me 5 loaves of bread or anything you find." The priest said to David, "I don't have any plain bread here. But I do have some holy bread here. You may eat it if your men have kept themselves from women." David answered, "Women have been kept from us. My men always keep their bodies holy, even when we do ordinary work. And this is especially true when the work is holy. There was no bread except the bread made holy for the Lord." So the priest gave David the bread that showed the people were in the presence of God. This was the bread the priests had taken from the holy table before the Lord. Each day they took this bread away and put hot bread in its place. Now one of Saul's servants was there that day. He had been held there before the Lord. He was Dog the Edomite, the chief of Saul's shepherds. David asked Ahimelech, "Do you have a spear or sword here?" The king's business was very important. "I had to leave quickly, and I didn't bring my sword or any other weapon." The priest answered, "The sword of Goliath the Philistine is here. He is the one you killed in the valley of Elah. His sword is wrapped in a cloth. It is behind the holy vest. If you want it, you may take it. There's no other sword here but that one." David said, "There is no other sword like Goliath's. Give it to me." David goes to Gath. That day David ran away from Saul. He went to Achish king of Gath. But the servants of Achish said to him, "This is David king of the Israelites. He's the man the Israelite women sing about when they dance. They sing, 'Saul has killed thousands of his enemies. But David has killed tens of thousands.'" David paid attention to these words. And he was very much afraid of Achish king of Gath. So he pretended to be insane in front of Achish and his servants. While he was with them, he acted like a madman. He made marks on the doors of the gate. He let spit run down his beard. Achish said to his servants, "Look at the man. He's insane. Why do you bring him to me? I have enough madmen. I don't need you to bring him here to act like this in front of me. Don't leave him in my house."